Hi, this is Brandon Smitley from BrandonSmitley.com and EliteFTS.com. I got a question on my Q&A from Corey. Corey said that he's dealing with lower back injury for approximately a year. He's a conventional deadlifter. After he gets the bar to his knees, he's having pain through his lower back and specifically his right glute. He said he's a 605-pound puller approximately, and now he's down to under 400 pounds, and he wants to know what the issue is. He says he's pulling in all issues now, and it's helped decrease the pain, and he's now pulling close to mid-fives. He wants to know why he has no pain with the ollie shoes, and should he have specific rehab work done to try to use the flat-soled chucks or stick with the ollie shoes and try to build up to 600 pounds, and what he thinks is best, and if I have any recommendations. So I'm going to go through some things here with my friend Joni, and we do some leg lowering and some adductor mobilizations and also hip flexor mobilizations. These help warm up the hips really well, especially prior to lower body training and even sometimes upper body training. So you can give these a try. Another thing you can try that we're not going to demonstrate is lax ball work on your right glute, and specifically your right piriformis. So you can give these a shot and let me know what you think. Okay, I'm back here with Joni, and we're going to show you the leg lowering, and specifically leg lowering 1. So there's also a second part to this if this becomes too easy. You're going to take your left or right leg during your warm-up, specifically do both, and try to keep your reps relatively even. If you have one leg that's tighter than the other, then maybe do 2 or 3 reps over the 2 or 3 sets on that one leg to get some corrective work on that one leg. So we've got Joni's left leg up against the power rack pole. This is the leg that's going to be going through the mobility and active stretching. The other leg is actually going to be doing the lowering part, but will not be getting the actual stretching. So Joni's going to bring her legs up. She's got both her toes dorsiflexed, and she's got her quads turned on, and then she's going to drop her right leg in this instance slowly for about a 4 to 5 count, get as low as she can get, and then she's going to bring it back up, and that's 1 rep. And then we usually do anywhere from 8 to 10 reps per leg, 2 sets each leg. The way you change the difficulty, you move your butt closer to the pole if you need to make it more difficult, or you move it away if it's too hard. So the goal of the movement is to get your butt as close to the pole as possible, and this works on each leg individually. So you're not just stretching the leg, you're actually mobilizing the hamstring, getting ready for it to do the job that it does when you actually squat. So that's the leg lowering. I'm back here with Joni again, and we're doing the adductor mobilization. So while your adductors may or may not be tight, Corey, this is another thing you can do. Even though you also don't pull sumo, Joni does pull sumo, so this does help warm the adductors up. You're going to try to keep your back nice and flat. You're going to take one leg out, basically like you're doing an adductor stretch, but now we're in a tripod position with the other 3 legs, so hands and then 1 knee. And what Joni's going to do is she's going to push back and rock herself back like she's trying to reach depth in a squat, and she's just going to go back and forth each time, trying to push herself back a little bit farther each and every time. And then again, we do 8 to 10 reps on each leg, usually 1 to 2 sets, whatever it takes to get that adductor warmed up. And this works really well after the leg lowering because you already have the hamstrings mobilized and stretched, so this lets the adductors lengthen a little bit better when your hamstrings are lengthened. Alright, Corey, this one's going to be the hip flexor mobilization. Some people call it a couch stretch, you can call it whatever you want. We're working on the hip flexors. I don't prefer just stretching the hip flexors. I like using dowel rods and stuff, it works a little better. So you take your foot, put it up on the back of a bench, just like you would normally stretch your hip flexors. What people tend to do is they tend to lean forward or arch their lower back, thinking they're stretching their hip flexors, but really their hips are staying in the same position. We're not getting a good stretch here. So you take the dowel rod and try to push yourself up towards the vertical position. Keep your glute relatively squeezed and push back. You notice I have a more vertical torso. I'm feeling a much greater stretch, specifically in the right hip flexor. And then again, just hold for roughly 20 to 30 seconds. Each leg you can do 1 to 2 sets. This would work good either before the leg lowering or after, whichever one you like. I like to do it usually first because it gets my hip flexors loosened up for the leg lowering specifically, but either way works. You're probably going to want to focus more on your right side than your left side if you're having right glute pain. Alright, Corey, so you're using ollie shoes to deadlift, so I'm just going to show you my ollie shoes. I got the Addy Powers. You say you don't have pain, so We know that when we squat, we use the ollie shoes, it tends to help us with our hip flexor mobility. It lets us just get into a better squat position relatively easier. Just the way it positions the ankle and the way that works up the kinetic chain with the hip flexors. So when you're actually dropping down into that position and you're getting a little bit of help, your hamstrings are actually getting a little more mobilization. So you're probably got some hamstring issues going on. It's hard to tell without actually seeing an assessment or anything of how you move. But I would still stick with these if you're not having pain. Build that up, because when you take this away, your hamstrings are just going to be just as strong. Just make sure you're training them, get the mobilizations, foam roll, do all the things you need to do with the back part of your body, but don't neglect your hip flexors as well, which is why I included the hip flexor mobilization. And give that a shot, let me know how it goes, and hopefully it helps. Thanks.